Okay. Okay, once again, I'm going to ask everybody to please be quiet.
You should really rest your throat.
If I don't have to yell and if I don't have to tell you constantly to shut up, we'll get through this. Today, we're going to do something that we've never done before. We are going to read our rectangular coordinate system. Sometimes this is called the Cartesian coordinate system. We're going to leave this setup we normally graph things in terms of a rectangular system. Now what that means is, if you look at your regular graph paper, everything you plot is in terms of an x and a y. So in other words, if I want to plot the point 2, 1, I count over 2 and up 1. It's rectangular, sideways, vertically, horizontal, vertically. That's how you've always done it. Every time you've ever graphed anything, it has been with x, comma, y. Today, we are going to start talking about points that are in a circular system. This is called a polar system. And we're going to plot points on this kind of grid now, not that kind of regular graph paper. We're going to do it now on polar graph paper. And the points in the polar coordinate system are not x, y. They are r, theta, where r stands for a radius and theta stands for an angle in standard position. So for example, this point right here. You know what? I might give you that. Let me see if I have some. Yeah. I don't want to tell you here. You should give everybody a piece of this right here. So they can John's going to give you a piece of graph paper so you won't have to draw this out. In the graph paper you get, the angles are labeled like this, and so on around. So this point right here would be the point 1, 2, 3, comma 30. That would be the point 3, comma 30. How did I get to 3? The 3 radius. Yeah, 3 out. And how did I get to 30?
Angle.
That's the angle. So this one would be the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 180. And we'll be doing some graphing, not today probably, but we'll be doing some graphing.
This is Ford.
Yeah.
Do you have Maya Brownlow with you at this time?
No.
She is not present in your class.
No.
Okay, thank you.
What we need to do today is focus on changing from one coordinate system to the other one. Now, the triangle that was in your book ties the coordinates together beautifully. This is one picture that has x and y, those are your rectangular coordinates, And R and theta, those are your polar coordinates. So it's one picture with everything in it. Am I out of paper?
Want to make copies?
I'll make some copies later. We don't need it today, I just thought, oh, there's more. Okay, so let's get our note sheet out. And we're looking at section 6.4. And we are going to convert to rectangular coordinates. Now, kids, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you keep in mind this is rectangular and this is polar. So when it says convert to rectangular, it means you are trying to find X and Y. So I'm looking at 6.4 on the back of note sheet 51. Problem A is this right here. Now, this is R and this is theta. These are the polar coordinates. Now, we could graph that, but we don't want to. We want to change that into X and Y. Now, the first thing you might want to do, that's a radian measure, isn't it? You want to change that into degrees, we know how to do that. Pi is 180, divided by 3 is 60, times 2 is 120. So we'll just rewrite this with a degree measure. Now I am trying to find X and Y. This is why I had you memorize that stuff last night. What does X equal? No. According to the formula, what does X equal? R cosine theta. So X equals R cosine theta. That's what we have memorized. Now wait a second. What's this?
R.
That's R. What's this?
Theta.
Theta. Wait a minute. So what's X going to equal? 2 cosine 120. So I just take out my trusty calculator and I type in 2 cosine 120. And that gives me my X coordinate, which is -1. Now how do you think I'll find Y? What's my formula for Y? R sine theta. Well, wait a minute. R is still 2. Theta is still 120. What's 2 sine 120? 1.73. And there you go, you're done. So you took an R comma theta pair and you changed it into an XY pair using the formulas that you memorized. All right, let's look at B. Okay. Katie. Now, this is an R and this is a theta. Your job is to find the X and the Y. Okay, how do we do that? How did we just do it? It's the same thing. How did we just do it? We're going to plug in our formula. So according to our formulas, what would X equal? -3 cosine 135.
She's a trooper. Miss Ford's a trooper. You're a trooper, Miss Ford. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Like I said, it has been so peaceful.
And then I come back. The last one.
X equals -3 cosine 135, y equals -3 sine 135. Okay, so one more time. If you want x, which is what we're looking for, if you want x, you simply type in r cosine theta. And there's the r and there's the theta. What, did anybody do that? What did you get for x? 2.12, and what about for y? Now, does anybody have an issue with that? Okay, would you do c by yourself? It's exactly the same thing. R is 1, theta is 317. Okay, so you're looking for x and y. How do we find x and y? What's our formula for x?
R cosine.
R cosine theta. So for this problem, what would x equal?
0.73.
Well, 1 cosine 317. And what would y equal?
1 sine.
So who got an answer to C? What'd you get?
0.73 for x, and then negative 0.68 for y.
0.73 and negative
6.8.
0.68? Anybody match that? 0.73 and negative 0.68. Jack, match it. Okay, one more, let's do D. Now the deal with D is, again, this is a radian, right? So maybe before we should do it, we should change it into degrees. So 4 pi over 6. This is R, this is theta. Let's change that into 4 comma what? What's pi?
180.
Divided by 6. 30 times 5. 150. Now, you are going to find x. Right? So Suzanne, what does x equal? How do I find x?
Do r cosine,
So for our problem, it would be,
or 4 cosine.
yep, and y would be the same, only a sign. And we just type those into our calculator. And who's got an answer for me? Kieran?
For the first one, I got -3.46.
-3.46, okay. And the second one's probably positive too.
Yeah.
Now, how hard is that?
It's pretty easy right now.
That's pretty easy.
Right now.
All right, let's look at the next part. Because the next part is just the opposite.
So,
In the next part,
oh,
we are starting with rectangular. In other words, we're starting with x and y, and we're going to change it into polar. Now, this is a little bit harder. Not hard, but involves a little more work. Let's plot the point 1, 2. You go okay with that? This is R, boys and girls. Have we ever found that before? Yeah, we called it magnitude. It's the same thing, we're just finding the magnitude. So what's the magnitude? Square root of 5, that's your R value. Your R value is nothing more than the magnitude. This is your angle. Have we ever found that before? Yeah, how did we do it? Tangent. We said tangent theta, if I call that theta, tangent theta equals 2/1. So what buttons did I press on my calculator? Second tangent. So somebody type that in for me.
63.43.
63.43 degrees, and you are finished. You had to do that on your test on Friday. We didn't call it R and theta, we called it magnitude and direction angle, but it was the same
Wait,
thing.
so what'd you do with the tangent again? You did, like on my
The tangent
calculator?
of the angle is 2/1, so second tangent 2.
Okay.
All right, let's look at the next one. Negative 3, 2.
Square root of 13.
I'm sorry, I'm freezing, I'm gonna put my sweatpants on.
I'd hate to see you like this. If you need to just go home, it's okay.
I'll look even sharper than usual now.
You always look great, but
Yeah.
I just have to say, you just need to go home, take a nap, take the day off. No one will blame you. No one. Sometimes you just gotta do that. Just take a me day. Just take a me day. What would he do? He'd growl.
Okay. Have we found our R? What's our R? Root 13? Now, be careful. Some of us missed this on our test too. The actual angle that's going to go here is this one. Please remember your angle has to be in standard position. You will not find that angle first though. You will find this one. You only can find the angle inside the triangle. So you'll say the tangent is 2/3. So what we will type in is second tangent 2/3, right? Now what does the calculator say?
33.69.
33.69. Do not put that here though. You need this. How will you find that angle, the one you actually need? Subtract 33 from 180. So that would be 146.31. There is nothing new there, kids. That you have done that before. You have done that before. It's worded differently, it looks a little different in terms of directions, but you have
Wait, so
done
why
that.
on the first one was that 163, but this one's 146?
Because it's right here. It's in quadrant 1, it's in standard position.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, -3, -1.
Finding the angle from the origin.
From here. What's my R?
2.
Ooh, it's not 2.
I mean, not 2, just 2.
Root 10. How will I find my angle? Now I'm gonna find this one first. So I'll do second tangent 1/3.
Wait, why is it? Oh, wait, never mind.
And what is the angle second tangent 1/3?
18.43.
18.43. Okay, that is not the answer. This big angle is the answer. So let's see, that would be 180
Two sides.
plus 18.43
Yep.
Yeah.
or 198.43. 180 plus another 18. Veronica, what's my radius? This right here, what would that be? How do we find that? Yeah, it'd be the square root of 20 or 2 root 5. Very good. Now I need this angle, so I'll say second tangent 2, 4 over 2. Is that 63.43?
Yes.
That is not the answer. The answer is this angle. How will I calculate that? 360 minus 63.43. So what is that? Okay, now we're going to do the next section. We're going to plot these points. So you got graph paper right there, the grid's right there.
Then are we having snacks?
Yep, and then we'll have snacks.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
Let's quickly get these points plotted. You can do this real fast.
Wait, are we using ours in
While you're seated,
Right on the note.
literally there. Right there. On your left. Take a picture. Put it on
All right, here we go. You got your note sheet right there. You're going to plot the point 2 comma 15. 2 comma 15 goes right here. Is that where you plotted it?
Yep.
That's point A. Point B, 5 comma 210. Right here. That's point B, 5 comma 210. On the circle with a radius of 5 at 210 degrees. Oh, that's C, I'm sorry. That's C. B, oh my. What's pi over 2? 90. So that one would be right here. This is point B, right there. 3 comma 90. Uh-oh, 4 pi over, or 5 pi over 6. 5 pi over 6. 150. So we're plotting at 4 comma 150. There's point B. Okay? Tomorrow we're gonna do some, or Wednesday we'll do some forward What?
Sesh. Learning.
Okay, go ahead and help yourselves to the tree.
Oh, this board has good news.
There are some knives and things to cut stuff if you want to cut up a pie. You got plates and napkins and forks and spoons.
You want me to shut it off, Miss Warren? Shut it off.